Making sure. Oh, that look good. Got some good old Gatorade.
If I drink coffee, I won't be able to go to sleep.
I know. That's all I was thinking. It's like, yeah, you get
We're
some
gonna try the Gatorade
coffee.
today.
It's gonna be.
We're gonna try the Gatorade.
We here. Yeah. Money with Eric Anderson. All right. Financial trauma and money behavior. Waiting on some folks to hop on here. So if you can hear us, please let us know as it's going through the internet to hit your screen at this time. Oh, Eric, I was supposed to do something else
What are you talking about?
for your IG.
Oh,
We're
we're
supposed
fine.
to start the IG too. Can you
Okay.
do that and have it off to the side? You got your clip.
Oh, no, we're fine too. Don't worry about
All right.
it.
Because I was going to talk. I said that I had it on my notes, and then we got sidetracked on other stuff. Oh man, we're just waiting for
I
make
want to
sure
talk about
everything is
YouTube
hitting.
too.
Let me see.
Well,
Make sure everything is hitting where it needs to be. All right, all right. All right, that's good. You didn't use it.
so what?
No, we're good. We're good.
All right.
I'm just making sure that everything is good on our end. I'm just trying out some stuff. All right. All right. All right. Let me see here. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's having a phenomenal week so far. Just want to check in, check in. So, how's everything going, Eric? I know we got an amazing topic today that we want to discuss. Today, I'm really excited about it. You start to think about it, and it's like, well, financial trauma and money behavior. Like this is can get deep. So I figured it might be some stuff in here you got in your drawer that might be uh uh some truth bombs, shall I say. And so we'll probably get into. But how's your week going, sir?
It has been bananas, dude. It is crazy. Most people think that tax season is pretty much over because so many people run and do advances and all that stuff and run with their W-2s. And these next 2 weeks are pretty much probably the busiest time for me, because with the people with the business returns, those are due March 15th. So many clients are now setting up the appointments to do their 1120Ss, to do their 1065s and stuff like that. So it's really getting busy. It's been busy obviously all this time, but now, March and April are really the busiest times for me. Because again, people are waiting for that. They're waiting for K1s. They're waiting for their 1099Bs because, they have stocks, dividends, things like that. Most of my clients, as we know, are not just, W-2 clients. They're clients who own businesses. They're in partnerships. They're getting K1s from trusts, partnerships, estates, all kinds of things like that. So we're usually having to wait to get a lot of that stuff around the beginning of March because that's when, like, especially like if you're getting trust, and a lot of people have to do extensions and stuff because they're having to wait for those kind of things as well. But so yeah, it's already been steady, and now it's really like what we were talking before we went on. I don't even have any slots till the week after next. I'm pretty much fully booked till the week after next. So
Okay, so somebody if somebody need to get on your books, they need to get on your books now. If not, it's gonna fill
yeah,
up by next
usually
week.
when
It's gonna
somebody,
fill up.
so a lot of people are texting me or emailing me, and they'll say, "Hey, do you have a slot in the next couple of weeks?" And I'll say, "Hey, I need you to kind of give me a date." And they'll say, "Hey, um, again, we're trying to get in before March 15th." So they'll be like, "Are you free March 9th? Are you free March 8th? Or whatever?" And so we'll start filling those up. Usually, like I said, usually you're kind of packed like the first couple of days of the week, and then as the week goes on, it fills up the whole week. So, like I said, I'm fully filled up tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Like I said, I have appointments on Saturday as well. I'm trying not to take any appointments on Sunday because we have to go do that speaking engagement on Sunday. So
Right.
I'm trying not to take any clients this Sunday because I'm trying to focus on that. But I'm already filled on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week as well. So
Man, that's
it's a
nice.
blessing. I'm tired, as you can see, but it's a blessing. So
Okay. Eric, check your phone real quick. But yeah, it's to get on your books, man. I know when I got mine, did mine, I was like, you think about it, it's like, uh man, I'm not happy about it, but you got to get it done, right? You got to take care, you got to handle your business. So it is what it is. Go ahead and speak again.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think it's on a different mic though. It's not in direct sound.
Oh, yeah, because it's pink. Hold on.
Okay. Hello everyone. Everybody tuning in. Who's all there? Nobody want to hop on for this financial trauma. Everybody being hit upside the head by money all their life. How's everybody doing this evening? Welcome. Let us know you can hear us. Let us know how's your day? How's your week been? Let us know. How's it going? Today, we're going to talk about financial trauma and money behavior. So stay tuned. Eric has a lot of stuff we've been talking about before the show. And so I want you guys to hop on. Make sure, if not, watch the replay of this. Is going to be really great. So just to let y'all know, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that at Anderson Taxes. Please go to the YouTube channel and check that out as well. There's so much content on that platform. So there's so many videos that's coming out weekly, daily, and just a lot of videos, by the way. So if there's any question or anything, we probably have covered it already and a lot more in detail. So please go to the YouTube channel to subscribe. Also, thefinancialturtle.com if you want to get subscribed and be able to get more financial tips, you guys. So definitely thank you all for tuning in this evening. I know sometimes it's busy throughout the week, and to hop on the live to be able to say, hey, I really want to propel myself and my family's future, and kind of have some financial tips. And so, Eric, let's break this down on today on Mastering Money with Financial Trauma and Money Behavior. How do you want to start this off? Let us know what this means and everything.
So when you think about financial trauma, what comes to mind for you?
I think of basically not having enough, so like that financial strain of not having enough. And it's always like, it's never enough. No matter how much you get or whatever, it was always in a deficit. And if you do get some, I know this is coming from my background, then you must give it 10% to God, right? Like, so that's just how upbringing, no matter what, you have to give in that regard, regardless of what that is. And so I feel like that is what I think of. It's like, I don't feel like that was the best situation or best circumstance to kind of, or response to get out of debt or to help the financial situation. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about when I think of, and I feel that like I need to do this or I need to do that, or it's never enough. And so it's always been that for so many years, where you can never get what you would like to get, or you're just barely getting by. So
Okay. Well, I don't want to do it, but since we're alone, um, my thought process on it is, and right now is a very great time to have this conversation, um, because all these people are getting these huge returns. They're running around trying to get all this money and stuff like that. If What do you think my mindset is? Is the mindset of most of the people who are getting these type of returns? What do you think their mindset is when it comes to money?
when it comes to money regarding taxes?
Money in general.
Spend what I have at the end of the day and wait till the next check. So, or at least try to balance out to the next check. But after your bills, it's like whatever you have is yours to blow, right? Or yours to kind of do whatever you want. Because like after you hit your responsibilities or some of them, then it's like do whatever you want to do, live your life. I don't know.
So if I get a huge windfall of money, does my mindset change, or do I still have that mindset?
I still have that mindset because I'm probably going to get something that I wouldn't normally get, right? Or do something or vacation or trip or get something that I wouldn't normally do on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly basis and get something to kind of quote treat myself, right? I wouldn't, it was like, oh, I got this lump sum of money. I could go do something with it that I would never been able to do. As opposed to, well, maybe in case it's like car repairs or something like that, that's like, you got to go get tires on the car, some really good things like that cost a significant amount of money, like $2,000 or body repair. That does cost, right? So that's understandable, but not just, I guess, you get to a point where like you didn't have anything for yourself that you wanted to do. And then now all of a sudden you got this lump sum of money and now you want to do something for yourself because you've been deprived that whole year. So I might book a cruise.
So in that mindset, kind of like the video we were watching right before we came on here, because again, it's not just me. I'm not just here talking. What did John Hope Bryant say? He's well known. He's huge, right? What did he say? What did he say our trauma is? We're in survival mode.
We're in survival mode all the time.
All the time. If I gave you $10,000, $15,000, you still have the survival mode mindset. Instead of saying, I need to think about my future, I need to save money, I need to get ahead on my bills, I need to do these type of things. No, we blow it. We blow it.
Yeah.
And we even do videos, TikTok dancing and doing all that, like we're celebrating and slapping money down and doing silly ass videos and stuff like that, trying to be cute. No, I'm just gonna be real with it. I'm gonna be real with it.
Yeah.
And we all are entertained by it, but that's our mentality.
Yeah.
That's our mentality. Instead of saying, I need to be saving money, I need to think about my future, I need to get out of lack and survival mode. Survival mode, like you said, is living paycheck to paycheck. As soon as I get money, as soon as money comes into my hands, I feel like I gotta spend it. And people can say all the time, I'm broke, I can't pay these bills, I can't do that. So why would your mindset be, as soon as I get a lump sum of money, I just go blow it? Instead of putting that money away, instead of having a rainy day fund in case something happens with the car, in case I have some type of emergency, I just blow the money.
Yeah.
Then when the emergency comes, now I'm in lack, right? I'm in survival mode when I had the opportunity to save money, to put money away.
Yeah.
And then worse, our mentality.
You know what? I was Eric, that money is already spent, and most people don't know how much they're gonna get back.
Correct.
Do you know that? Like I was sitting here,
they're taking advances, and they might not even get that money. The advance that they're taking, they might not even get that money. I've actually, because if you do or do not know, I worked at H&R Block for a year. When I was working at an accounting firm before I started my own business, I worked at H&R Block for a tax season just to see what they charge and like that. Yeah, there were people who were actually going in and getting checks, getting advances, and they didn't get their money. They didn't get the money. So now you're in more debt because you didn't take that money to go pay a bill or anything like that. You went and blew it. You went and blew that money. It's like I tell you, I don't say, oh, I'll take it out of your return. I don't know you like that. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't happen often, Isaac, but there are definitely times where somebody comes in here and does their return, and they'll keep calling me, and they'll say, Eric, I never got my return. And then we go onto the IRS website and it says your money was already put into another application.
Break that out. What would those allocations be? Would that be child support? Would that be student loans? Would that be
student loans? All kinds of stuff like that. All kinds of stuff like that.
Wow.
And so, like you said, you're excited because you're thinking you're going to get this return, and then come to find out, or better yet, you think you're going to get this return, and they either fix it before because you didn't bring in because you didn't bring in your 1099-Cs, because some clown is telling you that you don't got to put that on your return because it wasn't sent to you. All you got to do is lie and say, or the fun one we saw where the girl said, that's them writing it off, so now they owe you money. 1 million likes, by the way. That's why this is funny to me, to be honest with you. That's why this is funny to me. You see silliness like this, and we can't understand why we're still in the same situation that we're in. There's no logic in it. It's like we've been watching all this tax season, people talking about that, saying how they can get people all those returns. Like I was saying to you before we got on the call. People have actually called me and said, someone referred me to you or whatever, and they said, I went on TurboTax or I went here, whatever, and I did, and I'm getting this return, but it doesn't seem like it's right. So I said, okay. Right. So then I do the return, and I said, this is what you're getting back. And they say, that's what they said. I said, correct. I was like, why would you think you're getting more? Oh, because that person told you that if you have 3 kids, you're getting $12,000 back. Even though we've been saying this whole time?
Yeah.
We've been saying this whole time. If you got 3 kids, I can get you 12 grand back. Haven't looked at a W-2, haven't looked at anything, but I can get you 12 grand back. And we fall for it. Because again, we already have the mindset that this is a come up for you during tax season. When it's time to get your taxes, you believe this is this huge come up. And again, it wouldn't be so bad, Isaac, but again, like you just said, the moment you're getting most people who are getting those type of returns, Isaac, like again, if you read comments and read people posting, like they said, I'm just gonna be honest, most people who are getting the earned income credit, you can't make more than a certain amount of money, right? Get the earned income credit. So if you're getting these huge returns, this is almost half of what you make the whole year, and you're going to blow it within 2 months. And you don't think you have a money mindset problem? Instead of saving that money and doing something with it, you're just going to go blow it on a cruise, or you're going to go buy a bunch of Jordans, or you're going to go put a down payment on a car that you now can't afford to make the car payment on. That's a mindset. That doesn't make any sense to do those type of things. But that's what we do. And then, like you said, like John Hope Bryan said, I'm sorry, I didn't say it. Like John Hope Bryan said, now you're in survival mode.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens when you're in survival mode? You go and pay somebody to help you fix your credit. Or you go pay somebody to help you get credit cards that you can't afford to pay back. I'll just say it. An American Express Platinum card costs $900 a year to own that card. Why do you need that card if your business doesn't make any money? I dare somebody to come on here and explain to me how that makes sense. You're paying $900 a year to own, just to say you own this card, but your business makes no money. Isaac, you answer it. You answer it, Isaac. You tell me how that makes sense. I'm serious. I'm serious. We're just sitting here talking. We're sitting here talking. Explain to me, Isaac, how does that make, what is the logic in that? I dare somebody to explain the logic in that to me. I have a card that I'm paying $900 a year for, and I can't afford to pay my bills. But I got a business card. But I got a platinum card that I pull out in front of everybody like I'm flexing. But that's not money behavior. That's not mental trauma. That's trauma. That is actual trauma to think in your head that makes you something that you're not because you're running around with this card and you can't afford the card. How is that not trauma?
I mean, it's $900, Eric. It's just $900 to have a car.
Do you know how many people come in here and say they have a business, and I say, "What was your revenue this year?" And they say, "I didn't make no revenue." How many times do you think I hear that?
Now we talk about revenue. There's no revenue or no profit.
No revenue.
Oh, that's different. Because you can say, we can say, oh, that's a part of the expense, right? We can put that in the expense, like that 900 or whatever. That's a part of the expenses. I didn't make any profit because I had all these expenses. What you're saying is that there was no income generated through the business at all.
No revenue.
Wow.
Definitely not enough revenue to cover. Okay. Definitely not enough revenue to cover those expenses. So you're not profitable. So again, does that make sense to have that card?
It doesn't make sense in that sense. Well, I'm just giving $900 or whatever, the $500 or whatever.
Profitable. Does that make sense for that to be an expense for my business? If my business isn't profitable, does that make sense? Again, but we are so stuck on, I need to write all this stuff off to bring my AGI down to again get these huge tax returns. But your business, in order to write this stuff off, you have to be losing money. You have to be losing money, right? Yeah, you guys, I'm gonna calm down.
No, you don't need to calm down. This is real stuff right here, Eric. This is real stuff. No, this is real stuff, and I think it really needs to be said. It really needs to be said, right?
Because again, I'm not BSing y'all. When I'm sitting here saying I have clients, like I said to you, somebody sat here last night for over an hour talking about IULs with me, and for me explaining that to him. I have people calling all the time who ask these different types of questions because they're like, somebody's trying to sell me something. Somebody's trying to talk me into doing something. And again, Eric, you have no dog in this fight. No, I don't. So I'm going to be completely honest and blunt with you. Why do you need all these business credit cards that you're paying all this annual fees and stuff on if your business isn't profitable? That's just another expense on a business that's making no money. I defy anybody to come on here and explain to me how that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense, Isaac. It doesn't. You're not profitable. You're not profitable. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. There are plenty of credit cards out here that you do not have to pay the annual fees on. But because you want that cards like that, to be able to floss and act like you really got a bunch of money. I don't even use mine, Isaac. I don't even use it.
You got that black card, right?
Let me tell my business something.
I'll play. I don't know if you got a black card or not. I don't know. Is it Chase?
But I don't know. The things that I use my cards for is business related. So again, I'm getting the points for that, but I'm paying it off, right? But if I'm profitable, I can write that off. It's a whole different conversation. It's not the same conversation. But again, we get enamored into this is what wealthy people do. This is what you're supposed to do. And you believe it. But you stay broke. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Is it wrong to believe that they want to walk into that wealth? And so you start operating and believing that you want to get to that place of wealth, of generational wealth, and you want to do that, and you do something that demonstrates where you want to go. Is that a bad thing, right? We gotta take some type of step forward.
You gotta take baby steps to it. You're correct. You gotta take baby steps.
You would say that's not a baby step. You saying that's a big leap. What you're trying to say,
Isaac? It makes no sense for anybody. You see how I even had to back up what I said. It makes no sense for me to have a platinum card and say I don't use it. So I'm just giving them $900 a year, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But then what did I say? I said all of my stuff for my business, all of my subscriptions, my marketing, all the stuff I do through my business, I pay through that card. So I'm building up the points to make up that $900.
Oh, make up the right.
So yeah, I might pay $900 a year for the card, but because my business is generating all the expenses on the card and I'm paying for it, I'm getting the $900 back. If I'm somebody who does not have, who's not making the type of charges and expenses on that card to use it. It's almost like somebody when people say they have the cards to travel, but you don't travel.
Right.
You don't travel.
Right.
And I know people are going to be upset. I know there's people out here talking about, hey, they can help everybody get credit and do all this. I'm sorry that I'm messing that up for you. But we have to be real here, correct? We're talking about trauma. We're talking about behavior. This is the type of trauma we do. This is the type of behavior we have. And we somehow think that makes sense. We somehow try to justify that. Before we talked about all these people where people are charging you 10, 15, 20% to get you business credit.
Yeah.
If you had a legitimate business, you don't need nobody to help you get credit. If you have a legitimate business, profit and loss statements, and been in business, you don't need anybody to help you get credit. You don't need anybody to help you clean up your credit. If you pay your bills, you don't need anybody to help you clean up your credit.
Wow, that man hurting feelings. You trying to make you hurt? Why you gotta say it like that, Eric? What if you just pay your bills?
We're talking about okay, we'll do it the other way then. You don't know what you're talking about. So you're gonna get the credit card, you're gonna pay the credit card bill then, right? You ain't paying no other bills, but you're gonna get the credit card bill and pay that, right? That's your mindset. Your mindset is you're not paying bills or you'd have good credit. That's your mindset.
I guess so.
And I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that.
You are, Eric. There's nothing about it. You are hurting people's feelings because it's accountability and it's the psychology of money and how our posture towards money, that how we think about it and how we behave with that. And because of whatever, our growing up with money or how we perceive money or how our relationship with money is different in different households raised up. And so we think of, quote, success or having money to these types of things. That's why people buy expensive things like your Gucci and your Louis Vuitton or whatever, got the LV on it or whatever, because it's a brand that shows something, which is nothing wrong with those things. But then it's like, there's nothing, I feel like there's nothing wrong with those things if you can afford it, right?
And you can afford it. But that's
something nice.
The people who are usually flaunting those things to get you to buy their courses and to do those type of things. Again, I'm not the first to say this. They're broke. Would you like to talk about Jay Morrison real quick?
He on the tangent. Go ahead.
You want to talk about Jay Morrison real quick?
2 minutes.
A man who was in bankruptcy when he started a fund was able to get $12.5 million to take your money and start a fund. And he was in bankruptcy when he started the fund. He's not even a high school graduate. That's trauma. That's money behavior. That's mindset. And then the people like me who were saying, just Google him. Just Google him. You'll see he's a 3-time felon. He has all these people suing him for him stealing from them. But you're going to give him your money. And then when it falls apart, I'm a hater. People like me are haters. We're just trying to educate people. That's all we're trying to do. Like right now, it might seem like I'm being harsh or being mean or being rude. I'm just trying to help you understand. Again, I'm not even telling you not to do it. Like I say to people all the time, I'm pros and cons. Because I have no dog in the fight. So I'm going to be pro and con, right? I'm going to tell you. So like in that situation, the first thing I would say is, are you going to spend enough on the card to make the $900 back? And just so you know, every 10,000 points is $60. Again, I have a card. Yeah, it takes 10,000 points in order to make $60. So think about how much money you'd have to spend on that card in order to make your $900 back.
How much per dollar equals a point? Like, is it dollar?
There are certain things that you can have that are 1.5 points, 2 points. Like if you go to hotels and stuff like that. If you go to hotels,
that's a lot.
Stuff all the time that says
that's a lot of money.
If you buy this at Under Armour, it's like 1.5 points. there are things like when I look on the statement, I'm like, hey, you got 1.5 points for that because you went to that restaurant or you shopped in that store. But at the end of the day, you're right. That's still a lot. If 10,000 points is $60.
Dang.
So 100,000 points is 600, and you're still barely halfway there. So imagine how much money you have to spend every year in order to make the $900 back. It does, again, it does not, it doesn't sound as great now, does it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense now, right?
Yeah.
I'm not being mean, right? I'm not being rude. I'm just giving you the other side. Go get the card. Go get it. But understand, if you do not make the type of money or you do not spend the type of money on the card to make the card worth it, should you really get that card? And again, if somebody says, you know what you're talking about, explain how that makes sense. Explain how it makes sense. But again, when we have that type of mindset and we think that type of way, like you said, we think it's something to say you own that card. Like I said, it's so funny when I see these people dishing all these cards. They'll have like a whole stack of them. Like all my LLCs have all these on them. The first thing I say is, so each one of your LLCs is paying $900 for this card. And you know what's extra if I get a card for somebody who works for me, right?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So if everybody in the office has the card, I'm paying even more. But if I have a business that isn't making that type of money, does that card make sense? You can say yes or no. Look at your face.
I was like, no.
I don't care tonight, Isaac. I'll be honest with you. I'm tired. I don't care.
Eric's tired today. He's releasing today. Release the Kraken.
Because again, I dare somebody to say, no, you're lying. No, you're lying. You can look, it's like when people talk about getting a Black American Express card. The first thing I say to people, do you know how much that card is a year?
Mm. Yeah.
You can afford to pay that every year?
Yeah.
To be able to just to own the card. And you have to be invited because, again, you have to be spending well over $150,000 on your card to be invited to then get that card. But you see all these videos of all these people saying they have these cards. It's like somebody driving around in a Tesla or a Rolls Royce like Jay was doing, right? Like you actually own that car. Yeah. And people believe it. And you're going through bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And you convince all these people to give you $12.5 million. And that money's gone.
It's interesting that you say that because it feels like folks, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, but like seems like people would like sabotage their own financial growth at the end of the day, right? By doing that, you're actually putting yourself in a bind, like a more of debt or responsibility. Because I know when I had business credit and I used it, but I use it when I was waiting on the funds to cover the funds that I need or expenses that I needed to until the money came up. So I'll kind of like repay it over the end of the as the revenue was coming in. So as it was coming in, I would like pay and then it will come back and it will like replenish. But then on that, if it does, there's the interest on the card, right? And so you think about it, it's like it was kind of hurting me because then I would get the interest fee on that, on top of that, on top of what I was already trying to make back to make profit. So it was hurting me. And I was like, well, dang, $150 interest fee or whatever on there hit on top of it, to pay back or whatever. And I'm like, man, I'm shooting myself in the foot, basically.
And that's a credit card. Imagine going to get a line of credit or a business loan.
You got to pay that each month, right?
You
With
pay
the
it each month. So again, like I said, what is the logic of somebody saying, I can get you all this money and I'm going to charge you this huge amount to get you this money? So now, like I said before, you now have that debt in your line of credit or in your deal before you even started making a dime. You're already having to pay the credit card company, the line of credit, the business loan. You're already having to pay that back to the person who blessed you by helping you get this loan. So now you're fighting. Not only are you trying to keep your head above water in your business, you're having to pay back this loan. You're having to pay back this loan that was not used for, again, it wasn't to go buy equipment. It wasn't to go buy inventory. It was to pay this person to get you this loan. You're having to pay this person back. And like I said, there's a possibility you're not even going to make that money back. The money you gave them, there's an absolute possibility that you're not even going to make that money back.
Yeah.
And you're paying interest on it.
I know. I felt that. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be realistic.
No, that's real because it happened.
And then
that's real.
I'm filing bankruptcy and stuff like that. It happens. And again, I know somebody who's sitting there, they're saying I'm hating on them, or they're saying I don't know what I'm talking about. If I don't, please get on here. Please get on here and explain to me and everybody else how what I'm saying isn't true.
I'm waiting for somebody to challenge Eric, man. Somebody go and challenge Eric because I don't know if Eric knows what he's talking about.
I pay you $25,000 to get me a $250,000 loan, Isaac. Who has to pay that $25,000 back?
Hey, I give you $250,000 if you don't give me $25,000 back on intro on top of my money back. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, but again, it's not worth it for me to be for me to get a loan for something that I gotta pay in order for me to get this loan. That doesn't even make any sense. Why? I'm already in the hole $25,000 and I gotta pay this back, and I'm responsible for it. My credit is connected to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put me in a situation.
Who did this for me, who probably more than likely, just like we talked about with the tax returns, committed fraud more than likely to get me this, because I could have got it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So they more than likely committed fraud in order to get me this loan in the first place. And this person walks off with this money.
Yeah.
And now, like you said, I'm stuck. I'm stuck with this loan. I'm stuck with having to pay it back because I can't go to you and demand my money back, right? I paid you. I paid you for your quote unquote services. And now you've skated off. You've walked away. And now I'm responsible for this. You could care less if my business is successful or not. If I'm able to pay the money back. Why do you care? You've got your money. It's the same thing like with the tax returns. Why do you care that? Why do I care that you pay me $1,500, $2,000 to get you $10,000 when the IRS calls and my information ain't even on the return, so the IRS can't even touch me? Yeah. But now you're having to pay that back. But you can't come and try to sue me to try to get the money that you paid me to file this nonsense tax return.
Yeah.
And in the same regard, to file this nonsense bank application. And again, it happens all day long. Eric, trust me, I've already said this. I have to go to the IRS all day long for stuff like this.
Eric, do you think that the behavior of risking something, because we talk about like when you're growing up and how you're taught about money growing up, and that scarcity versus like the scarcity mindset and survival mindset, right? And you're like, I just want the money. Right? Like you just, the idea of having access.
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor?
What?
Is it possible for you to show that video?
To show that video?
Yeah.
Well, I'll pull it up, but go ahead. I'll see if I can do that, but go ahead.
Because he's about to answer what you just said. He just answered what you just said.
Break it down. If not, I'll drop it in the chat or I'll share
He
it with other
said
people.
our
Break it down what
problem
he said.
he said the very first thing he said is our problem is we are so focused on getting the bag, on getting this money. That's our only focus is getting this bag, is getting this money. We don't think about the future. We don't think about how that affects what I'm trying to do, where I'm trying to go, building wealth or anything like that. We're just all about getting the bag. And when you think like that, like you said, you're in straight survival mode. And that's where we are. That's what ends up happening when people come in and they say, again, another example. I'll give you another great example. I've said this time and time and time again. So many people call me and say, Eric, what are your thoughts on IULs? And I say, you tell me what your thought is on it. And I say, why do you need an IUL? And what is the first thing everybody says, Isaac? We talk about it all the time. What is the first thing everybody says when I say, why do you want an IUL?
To build, to be my own bank.
Yep. They said I can borrow out of it.
I could borrow out of it, right?
I can borrow out of it.
Or then they say they want to have build generational wealth. So because they know that they have it, then they have the ability to be able to borrow from it too as well.
But then when you have the conversation about, do you know that you can only borrow out of the money you put into it? The collateral is the money you put into it. So until you build money up into it, that's building money into it, you can't borrow anything out of it. And then when you say, well, do you have a savings account? Do you have an emergency fund? Something that you're not having to pay interest to borrow from. Correct? Does that make any sense to you? Again, like I said to people all the time, it makes absolutely no sense for someone to say the IUL is giving me 8%, but I can borrow the money and I only got to pay 3% back. That math ain't mathing. That math ain't mathing. And you know it isn't. And again, I did an article on that. Did I not? I did an article on that showing that no, it does not work like that. But again, when you're talking to somebody who's slick in front of you, who's trying to sell it to you, they're going to tell you what they believe you want to hear in order to sell it to you. And then how many people, like I said, we can Google it right now. All these people who are suing all these companies that sell IULs because, again, they implode or they didn't do what they said it was going to do. Do you know how many people have come to me and said, Eric, how do I get out of this whole life policy? How do I get out of this IU policy? I've been paying all this money into it and it doesn't have any cash in it. How do I get out of it? I have these conversations all the time. People come and talk to me all the time about stuff like this. You don't got to show it if you don't got it, but but that's what John O'Brien said. That's what he said, right? He said that's our problem. We are so focused on. Go ahead. It's muted. You're muted, Isaac.
Getting the dollar, getting the money is actually a hindrance. So it's a mindset shift.
Oh, let me play it again.
Understand how money works, how capitalism and free enterprise works, and our obsession with getting the bag, getting the dollar, getting the money is actually a hindrance. So it's a mindset shift, and too many people are in a surviving mindset. You got to get into a thriving and a winning and a building mindset.
He's smarter than me. He's smarter than me.
Wow.
So if you don't believe me, he's smarter than me.
Yeah.
So when you see people say, I want to get this IUL to borrow money out of it, or you see people say, I want to go have somebody go get me all this business credit, and I say, do you have a business plan? Nope. Is your business making money right now? Nope. So what do you think putting money into it is going to do? How do you believe putting money into it is going to help your business grow? Do you have a business plan? Can you tell me what you plan on doing with this money when you get it to help your business grow? Nope. Nope. I'm gonna go buy a car so I can write it off.
Eric, I know over here. The more we talk about this, it almost seems like the reason for my business is not really for generational wealth. It's just so I can part survive, right? And then just have materials. Like
Correct.
majority, I'm looking at this like it's more like I just want material things. I just want things to be or feel some type of way, right? Because people that I know who have like generational wealth, they drive ordinary stuff. They don't have big car payments. They have cash cars. They're doing very, very well, and you would never know that. You would
Correct.
never know that. And you just walking around at regular house, ain't nothing going on. But
They're
for
not
sure,
flashing. They're not
you might see
flashing.
them in Fiji or something like that. They might take one big old vacation. Like, where are you in Fiji for 2 weeks? London for somewhere because that's what something they want to do, right? But for 2 weeks, gone 3 weeks, that's quite a bit of pretty penny, right? So
Right.
cruises on the other side for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Way over in Spain and all that. Like it's a whole different type of money.
Yeah, but the people, like you said, who are trying to sell the courses, who are trying to do those type of things,
Yeah.
they're the ones who post those stuff. They're the ones who post themselves on cruises. They're the ones who go to the dealership and sit in those cars or go Toro those cars to make you believe that they're successful. They're the ones, like I said, how many times do people have to tell you people with money don't walk around with money? That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because you're flashing money, you think people think you have money? People who really have money don't walk around flashing money. They don't walk around with a stack of money. What kind of sense does that make?
Yeah.
It's the same thing like a couple weeks ago when we talked. If I was really about growing wealth, if I have money left over at the end of the year of my business, I wouldn't just go buy a car or go buy something I don't need. Why wouldn't you put it into a SEP? If you're 1120S paying yourself a salary, why wouldn't you put it into a solo 401k? That's growing wealth, right? But
Right.
again, that's not sexy. That's not impressive.
Yeah.
Wealth is quiet. Wealth is quiet. Absolutely. But the people who want you to believe they have money, who want you to believe that they are big and doing all this stuff, they're the ones who do that stuff, show them walking into planes, sitting in first class with the Louis Vuitton bag and all that stuff. Those are people who do those type of things.
And I would tell them I'm broke. I ain't got no money. Because when you got money, people like to ask for your money.
Thank
right?
you.
No. And
part.
feel entitled
That
to
part.
your money.
That part.
You was like, what was it, Chris Tucker? Was
Yeah.
it Chris Tucker?
And they get insulted.
Or
And
Tyler
they get
Perry.
insulted. Yeah. And they get insulted when you say, man, I can't afford to do that. Then they
You're
get
like,
insulted.
no.
Yeah.
You're like,
we ain't
that's
really
my money.
friends. Yeah, like, we ain't really friends. Why would you do me like that? Aren't you my friend? Hey, you can afford to loan me this money. Like you said, then they're upset. I know we went off on a tangent and whatnot.
No, we're good.
Like I said, it's been a long day, dude. I've seen like 15 clients today. So, but
this is
I
good.
know that was in me, and I apologize again if I upset anybody or somebody who feels that it's hitting a nerve because this is something that you're thinking about doing or somebody's trying to talk you into doing these things. My only thing is with anything, just think about it. Just sit back, relax. Just think about what you're thinking about doing and say, does that make any sense to me? Does that help me grow? Does that help me grow? Even those type of cards, there's no limit on them, Isaac. But you have to pay them back within a certain time frame. Some of them you have to pay them back immediately. Some of them do let you, once you've had the card for a little while, it will let it float. Some of it float. But imagine running out, putting a whole bunch of stuff on that platinum card, and then I can't pay it back within the month.
Man, interest is killer, bro.
Killer.
Killer.
On top of the $900, it used to
Yeah,
be
it's killer.
7. But we got a letter saying it's now like 8.95 or whatever. But they claim again you get more points for doing certain things or whatever to make up for it. But again, you're still paying $900 a year for the card.
You gotta work for that, right? Like you
Correct.
gotta work. You gotta make sure
You
you're
gotta
making your
legitimately
charges.
go.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I had
make
to
sure
send
you're
in my
doing
financial.
those things. You
Yeah,
know,
I had to send in my financial statements and all that to
you
show.
gotta spend money. You
Gotta
know
spend.
that? Like that was the whole thing about the points is that you have to spend money in order for you to, I guess, not pay in more money, but you got to spend more than the $900 in order to even get the points.
Or there's no logic in it. Correct.
If you're already spending that amount and it's just real easy and it's like it doesn't, and then that's good. But if you got to like think about it and like, no, I need to swipe this because if not, I got to keep doing that, and I just have my behavior mindset is to keep swiping. Right? It's addictive. That's addictive.
Yeah, on stuff I can't afford.
The swipe is addictive. Oh, I need this. Swipe. Don't even really need it. Just sitting in the corner. Oh, I need this. Or I might need this, and you're just swiping for stuff.
Especially like anybody knows, if you have a credit card, you end up buying a whole bunch of stuff that, again, like they say, you wouldn't buy it if you had to pay cash for it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I can pay it later with my card, and that's where they get you. And like you said, everybody says I'll pay it off within the month, so I don't pay any interest on it. Everybody says that. But then like the other cards, when they keep on raising the limit, then all of a sudden you can't pay it back within the month.
Yeah.
So now you're paying the interest.
Man, that interest is killer, bro. And they don't reverse it either. They don't retract that fee when it hit. So you'd be like, you're going to have to pay. You know?
And again, but back to what we're talking about. To me, the biggest financial trauma, money, behavior thing that we have, it's because of what we see and what we think we're supposed to be like. When you said earlier about stressing about not having enough, not being enough, because you're watching other people and you're seeing what they're doing. And so it's FOMO, fear of missing out. How come I can't go on cruises? How come I can't drive that car? How come we can't do these type of things? And it really starts getting in your head. You really start thinking about those type of things, as opposed to, like you said, the person who's putting money away, who's going to be able to retire, do their thing. Like you said, they're driving the old car. They're not going out all the time. They're not buying the expensive clothes. They're not doing those type of things because they have a mindset of, I need to save money because I want to retire one day. I don't want some type of emergency to happen that is going to destroy us because I don't have an emergency fund, because I don't have a savings account, because I'm so busy trying to live my best life, just trying to go out here and do my thing and not think about the future or not thinking about protecting myself. And then getting cards and lines of credit and things like that, that even makes it worse because it gives me more money, but it doesn't give you more money, because I know people say use other people's money. Okay, cool. You got to pay it back though. Correct? You got to pay that back. So if I go run a credit card up, I got to pay that credit card back. And a lot of times, like I said before, we end up spending money on things that we would not spend those type of things, spend that money on if we had to pay cash for it. And that's what ends up getting you in trouble when people run out here and try to get all this credit and stuff like that in order to be able to do these things. Again, I tell people all the time, I have no problem if somebody says, I'm trying to grow my business. Hey, my business is doing this and I need another truck to grow. And I have the money to be able to make the payment. So, but getting this truck is going to bring me in more revenue, right? So then I'm going to be more profitable. So that makes sense, as opposed to the person who's not making any money at all. Who's not making any money at all, but they believe that somehow infusing money into that business is now going to make the business successful, when at the end of the day, a lot of times you just don't have a successful business. It's hard to hear that. I know. But a lot of times you just don't have a successful business. What you're trying to do is just not successful. If you can't grow it grassroots to the point of you being able to justify getting a line of credit, you might want to think about it. Because a lot of things out here you can start organically. You don't have to go get $250,000, $500,000 to start your business. You can grow it organically. But we believe that we have to go get these huge loans and stuff like that in order to do these type of things. And that's from the business side. Personally, again, it's interesting. Like I said, people are so enamored and so fixated on I need to get a huge return. Most people will tell you, I tell people all the time, if you don't have kids, your goal is not to owe taxes. That's your goal. Because if I don't have kids, so I'm not getting the earned income credit, I'm not getting the child tax credit, I'm not getting education credit, so I'm not getting any of those things, I'm not getting any credits or exemptions. Any other money I would be getting, that's not a refund. That's you giving me my money back, right? That means I've overpaid. Am I wrong on that? That means I've overpaid. If I don't have any, if I'm not getting any child tax credits, any earned income credits, any of that stuff, that means I've overpaid. If I just have W-2s and I get a return and I don't have any of those things, I've overpaid. So what's the celebration in that?
Mm-hmm.
But again, we look to get a huge return, not to say, okay, I'm going to fund my Roth IRA or fund my traditional IRA or go pay some credit cards off for stuff. What do we do when we get these huge returns? Not everybody. Let's be clear on that. Not everybody. But what do most people do? The worst, Isaac, is the person who's driving around in a car and saying they're struggling to pay their car note. And they take their tax return and go put a down payment, trade that car in, put a down payment on another car that's got a higher car note than the car that you weren't paying. The higher car note than the car that you were struggling to pay for.
Yep.
I'm lying on that too, right?
No, you're not. You know that's what it. And it's good because
feelings. I know I'm hurting feelings, but that's the mindset that people have. Correct. It can. Extra income can lead definitely to extra spending creep if you do not have the mindset of saying, as I'm making more money, I need to be saving more money. I don't need to go buy a bigger house just because I got a raise. I don't need to go buy a bigger car just because I got a raise. Maybe I need to be putting more money into the savings account.
You know, I guess it depends on what their goals are, Eric. If my goal is to get that new whip, I want a nice Escalade. You know what I'm saying? I do want, a different house with the land on it or whatever the case may be, right? I do want that thing, or I want a property or something like that. But I've been working towards something that I desire to have. And what you're saying is that I can't have it.
I didn't say that at all.
I need to move this money in a different way. And I understand what Andre was talking about, that lifestyle creep, where you've been working for 10 years, saving up for this, to do this, and over time, it's like, when do you get to,
let me stop you. What did you say? You said a word.
What?
I don't think you said what word you said.
What? What I say?
You said I'm saving up to do all this and that. So I'm not living paycheck to paycheck then, right?
No.
Oh, bam.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay.
Bam.
Okay.
I'm paying myself first, right? I'm saving to be able to do these things, right?
Right.
Instead of throwing them on a credit card or just walking in and say, I'll make it work. I'll be damned. I don't care. I don't care that if I go get this car, I can't put money into my 401k.
Right. Okay.
See the difference?
I got you.
In that one word.
Yeah.
That one word. Do you see the difference of the mindset?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
Let's go get the house.
You caught me.
I saved up to get that house. I saved up to go buy that car. I saved up to go do that. I didn't just put it on credit or whatever and then struggle to pay for it. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Exactly. That's the word. That's the word we don't use. We don't use save and we don't use pay ourselves first. That's the
Mm.
problem.
Mm.
When people talk about building generational wealth and stuff, and you say, okay,
Wow.
how much money do you save in a month? I'm living check to check. So how do you get to generational wealth? And like Andre said, oh, I'm just gonna make more money. But if I still have the same mindset, Isaac, if I still have the same mindset, if I make more money, I'm just gonna go buy a nicer car. If I have more money, I'm just gonna go buy a nicer house. If I have more money, I'm gonna go on nicer vacations.
I'm
But
trying to ball out, Eric.
okay, well then
I'm trying to ball out.
do your thing. But at the end of the day, if we're having the conversation about building wealth, about getting out of this rat race, like everybody says, to be able to live comfortably and not be having, again, you saw the articles. What do they say is the biggest stress for people, for heart stress and all that stuff? What do they say it is?
What, finances?
Finances.
Yeah,
It's
finances.
finances. It's
It,
finances.
like
It's
it
finances.
weight loss, weight gain,
No,
ulcers,
everything is
a
all
lot of stuff, like
from
heart,
finances.
uh, you messes up your sleep, like so you don't
Everything.
get proper rest, your hormone levels, like it crazy, all because the thought of finances, right? Of survival.
I want to live my best life.
Man, the mental anguish of knowing that you can work and work your fingers to the bone and never see anything that you desire really can really do numbers on your mentality, right? Would you agree? Like
I
if you're
would,
working for 10, 20 years and you're like putting the money, but you got to do something to make something happen. But at the end of the day, it's like, can I at least, there's some folks that have never even got out their state before, right? Like they've never gone out the state before. They've only lived in their city, in their community, in their town. That's it. Because they've never been able to have the resources to get out of that. And they've always been forced to be here in this space. And you know who I'm talking about, right?
correct.
So at the end of the day, it's like, dang, you just work. You can't even retire. You could be way past retirement. Not trying to say you could be way past retirement, but still working yourself to the bone and can't do nothing. Can't do
Now,
nothing.
now, would you agree that I won't say every case, but would you agree that if we sat down and looked at a bunch of those people's budget and said, "Do you need to be driving that car?" We sat in a meeting, did we not? We sat in a meeting with a young man with his truck payment, right?
Yeah, we did. Yep. That was insane though. I didn't understand that. I was still
That's
confused.
reality.
But I was
That's
confused though.
that's most people's reality, and
He
that's the tragedy. That's the tragedy. That's most
so
people's reality.
so for those tuning in, the conversation was a dad that had a family and all that good stuff, and he rather pay $1,000.
It
Was it
was
about
more
thousand?
than
Huh?
it was more than that.
It was more over $1,000 for his truck than what?
Then pay child support and help. They were trying to move, so they were struggling to be able to pay the rent. They were staying in one place, and because they had all these kids, they had to. It's who. I can't let that ride. What you just said. You see what I'm saying? You have kids. You make a certain amount of money. Y'all are struggling, but you're trying to justify a $1,200-$1,300 car payment to me.
He justified it the
No, he
best he
didn't.
could.
He didn't.
He tried.
He
No, he
just
tried. He tried.
tried in his mind.
In his mind, he thought, this is me. And he didn't care. He had no remorse to like anything or the decisions of how it was affecting everybody else. Where does that come from, Eric?
financial trauma. We're not trying to be funny. I know everybody listening, that's where it comes from. Because like I said, you've already, and again, it's sad because Isaac, like we said before, when you're a young person, it's a difference. You can't tell me it's not a difference between a child whose parent says, I'm going to open up a custodial account for you. So when you turn 18, here's all this money. Let me tell you what you've been doing. You can keep going. Or a parent who says, as soon as you get your allowance, you need to start putting money away. You need to put 10% away. You need to put into this account. I'm going to help you put this into this account. I might even match what you're putting into it to instill that into children, as opposed to the child who watches their family struggle, but watching their family do things that aren't very financially smart. And you're never taught that. You're never taught how to save money. You're never taught how to, again, like I said, Isaac, I go and talk to kids and I tell people all the time, the adults are the ones who ask most of the questions and ask for my card. Because they're like, I had no idea what that was. I didn't know you could do that. Like the thing I said about the different types of savings accounts. It's just not a regular savings account. The article that had all the different types of savings accounts that you could be putting your money into. Money markets, high yield savings accounts, CDs, all types of stuff that you could be doing that adults don't know. So how can you teach your child that? And again, as everybody says, it's not being taught in school. It's not. It's not being taught in school. Like I said, I was in college and I didn't take a personal finance class until I was getting my master's in finance. That was the first personal finance class I took in college, was getting my master's in finance. I didn't have to take a personal finance class. My whole bachelor's in accounting, I didn't have to take a personal finance class. The very first personal financial class I took was when I was getting my master's in finance. So it's not taught. It's not. So when people think about money, again, our mindset is, like I said, we can sit here and watch all the TikTok videos, all the Instagram videos you want. What does everybody do? What are all the videos you see? I can teach you how to clean up your credit, and I can teach you how to get all this credit. Do not teach a clue on what to do with this money when you get it. And all they do is sweep stuff off your credit. They don't teach you how to pay your bills or do what you need to do so you can maintain good credit. They just do these sweeps. They lie to get all this stuff off of your credit. Correct. We are not. And it's crazy. People like myself who are trying to teach it, people are like, nope, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Again, I'll go back to the example of Jay Morrison. If you just sat back for 5 seconds, you would know this ain't gonna work. What he's trying to do is not gonna work. He got $12.5 million.
People believed in him. And
And
what
I
he was
can't
doing
for the life of me,
part
I
of
can't
that.
understand why. Because again, I watched him talk for 3 minutes. And I said, oh, he's a scammer. This is
it's like one of those GoFundMe deals where you just kind of like, hey, we need help with this. I'm like, dang, you don't need $2 million, right? Like to bury somebody, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like expenses and stuff. I'm like, you need $2 million.
Correct.
So, but if you want to give, that's something you want to give to. So, you know,
when somebody says they can clean up your credit.
Yeah.
I can get anything removed and y'all pay for that. And then you get surprised when it comes back on your credit. You see all the videos, you've applied for an SBA loan before, right? I can get anybody approved within 4 days. I don't care if you don't have a business or not. Anybody who's applied for an SBA loan knows for a fact that's not true.
Yeah.
But you see all these people pressing to take your course, to learn how to do it. Everybody's cleaning up credit. Everybody can get you $250,000 to $500,000 in business credit, no doc loans. We were talking earlier, you've applied for loans.
They didn't give out that much. I'm just
Nope.
saying, and no, it ain't like that. There was a lot of information, and he had to go back and verify and all this kind of stuff. I don't know where they getting this from, but
I was actually sitting with a client. She's gonna be here tomorrow. I was sitting here with a client. We were talking about, because her business, she makes mad money. And we were talking about getting a card. And she said, what do you think about it? We talked about everything. We sat right here while she applied for the card. She had to send in all her bank statements. They asked for all kinds of stuff. We sat right here while she was sending all her stuff in to apply for the card. But y'all are out here doing videos like, all you gotta do is apply for the platinum card and you're gonna get it. We sat right here while she applied for it. And I watched her have to send in all her bank statements, all her information, all that stuff in order to get the card.
Man.
And again, her bank statement shows she makes hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So very profitable.
Very profitable.
Okay.
Again, people can get mad all they want. But again, go talk to people who are really in real life going and applying for these cards. Going and trying to do these things. Trying to go get SBA loans. Trying to go get things like that. It's not what these people on TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff are telling you. It does not work like that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, it'd be one thing, Isaac, if they were just talking. You're actually paying for courses for this stuff. Remember the one where the girl told people what they could do to get the stuff taken off their credit? And remember, I responded and I said, you need to stop. I said, it doesn't work like that. What did she say to me, Isaac? Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
You're teaching courses?
Hey, there was no guarantee. There was no guarantee, sir. There was no guarantee. There was no 100% guarantee on that. That was not. It was like, we're going to throw it out there. You could do it. Oh, but you know what? Oh, you might not.
Yeah, and then all these people were commenting to me. They were saying, why are you on here hating? Why are you, she's telling you it doesn't work all the time. Excuse me? Excuse me. She's charging you for courses.
Yeah.
And saying it might not work.
Yeah. That's crazy, Eric. But I know we're out of time. We kind of went over a little bit, but if you could close us out today and what you want to give them something to take away with today, could you do that, sir?
Old and new. I went off on a tangent today. I don't usually talk like this, but Isaac caught me. I'm really tired today, and this has been a subject for the two of us that we've been talking about for a while. But again, like I say all the time, anything we talk about, credit cards, IULs, any of that stuff, I tell people all the time, I'm not telling you not to do it. My advice to you is, I don't just blatantly say, don't go do that, that's stupid or whatever. I don't say that. We just sit back, we do the pros and the cons, and I ask you, does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? Like with the insurance, is that what you really want that to do? Are you really sure your family's covered? All these type of things. Don't just look at it from the perspective of, I can borrow money out of it. Especially if they really and truly showed you a portfolio that shows you how long you're going to even have any type of money into it. And the same thing with the credit cards. Again, it's great if I want that card, but now that I told you it's $900 for that card, and again, you can look it up. If I tell you it's $900 a year for that card, and it takes 10,000 points to get $60. So do that math on how much money you have to spend on that card to make your $900. Does that card sound so enticing now? Or is that just trying to be impressive? So you're basically paying American Express to look impressive. Because again, are you spending the type of money to be able to make back that $900? I'm not telling you not to get the card. I didn't say don't get the card. I'm just asking you, does that make sense to you? And again, no one came on because we're we're small time. You know, we don't have people talking crazy to us yet. But somebody wants to comment and explain how what I'm saying isn't true, that you should still get the card anyway. And I'm more than happy to sit here and wait for somebody to explain to me why that would make sense to them.
All right.
All right.
I was guessing you're good. You're good. Oh man, thanks everybody. I know, folks, this has been crazy. I know this topic right here really got me. I hope this was some great information for everyone tuning in tonight. I know we went over a little bit, but it's like we got juicy at the end, so we got to go over a little bit. But if you do have any questions, you're watching this on the replay, you're watching live right now, please be sure to drop a little comment. Let us know how this live was. If you have any questions, there are some questions in there. If you can respond to those, please do so. If there's any questions or anything that you need as far as financial needs, you can see the information there. You can call Eric or go to the Financial Turtle. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel as well at Anderson Taxes. We're here every Tuesday live. We'll be here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eric, you're good?
I'm great.
Again, all right, we're signing off.
Like I said, please subscribe on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and we look forward to seeing everybody on Tuesday.
Thanks, everybody.
All
Thanks,
right.
Thanks, Andre. Thanks, Cedric, Leah, Dennis, Ashley, Jeff, John, Grace, Meredith, all the folks who commented and asked questions today. Really appreciate it. Dennis, y'all have a good one. See you.